Welcome back to the Green Beret Life. This is the SCIF. I'm Matt. That's Stu. We are a 501c3 called The Green Beret Life. You can get a hold of us at the email listed below, TheGreenBeretLife@gmail.com, TheGreenBeretLife@gmail.com. If you have a question you want to put out to us, whether it's a military question, whether it's a contracting question, that'll be more Stu's lane, or anything in between. If you just want to, make a comment, feel free to get a hold of us down there. We try to get back to everybody that gets a hold of us. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but we make the effort to get back. If somebody takes the effort to write us, we try to make the effort to get back. So with that being said, Stu, what do we have on the docket for tonight?
We've got some good stuff. It's when you're taking fire, you're over target. Well, Doge is getting the snot kicked out of them with everything from, just panels discussing a screen name that one of the Doge members made at 16 years old, and just clutching pearls and unable to believe that a teenager has potty humor and thinks genitals are funny. It's just
Well, wait, but teenagers. Doesn't everybody think that shit's funny?
Well, you're right. That's true. I do. Yeah. Yeah.
That shit doesn't get old. Come on now.
It doesn't. But yeah, we're going to look at some of the things that Doge has uncovered. We're going to, kind of try and dig down into it, because I absolutely believe that they have uncovered some legitimate fraud, but I think even more concerning is the things that they've uncovered that may not necessarily be fraud, but it absolutely is a system that is so vulnerable and subject
it's mostly fraud, Stu. It's mostly fraud.
I'm not saying that it's not, but it's just it seems like the systems are just set up to be janky and be able to be manipulated, and that's even more concerning to me. Is and we'll talk about some of it in a bit, but that sort of thing. We've got some stories with Politico and others receiving taxpayer dollars, millions of dollars in premium subscriptions to their channels and their websites for the tools that they offer the National Park Service, to spend a couple of $100,000 on Politico for their tools that they need. We've got
there are plenty of tools at Politico.
that is true. We've got the Post Millennial, a story about how much the Biden admin has spent on services for migrants. And the last one I wanted to cover, if we have a chance, maybe we'll do it right at the end as a closer, is an MSNBC historian letting us know what we should be doing concerning the president and that sort of thing. It's as funny as you imagine it would be, with MSNBC telling us how we should feel about our president.
Well, Stu, the Zen philosopher Basho once wrote, "A flute with no holes is not a flute."
It's not. That is true.
What's a donut? And you're familiar with Basho's work. What's a donut with no holes?
If I remember correctly, a donut with no holes would be a Danish.
Nice. All right. Sweet.
It looks like we rehearsed this before the show, but we wouldn't do that. We just riff off each other like that.
Yeah. We're both ardent followers of the Zen philosopher Basho.
Yes. Yes.
If somebody out there watches movies, they're probably going to pick that up because it's from a classic.
Because you can tell when Matt spins up on one of his rants, he is totally zen. He doesn't, his blood pressure doesn't spike, his heart rate doesn't increase, he doesn't start sweating or anything.
Completely zen-like.
Completely zen.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, what do you want to start with?
Let me see. Well, we can start off with the big time here. Granted, one thing we don't have here is a timeline on this as to what because I've read through the article. I've not been able to find anything that is giving us a timeline.
There is no timeline. We were a little confused on this because we're also confused on the number 4.7 trillion. I mean, this is an unfathomable number. So Stu, why don't you explain it like you were talking about before we got on the air?
Well, the Treasury Department is, or these Treasury payments basically as they pay the government's bills. And part of the software that they use to account for things has a number that they call a Treasury access symbol. And what that field is that's basically the payee on the check. Well, that field, for some, I was going to say unfathomable reason, but I think we can all fathom as to why that might be. Up until now, that field has been...
I'm here fathoming right now.
You're fathoming it out? Until now, that field has been optional. It's optional to say who we're sending the government money to. We don't have to.
What's the actual measurement of a fathom? Below the,
I don't know. It's something with the Navy in depth. I don't know.
Well, it's depth. So fathom, I want to say it's 6 feet off the top of my head, but I don't know 100%.
You're gonna.
Here we go.
You're derailing, Matt.
I am derailing.
6 feet. Look at you.
Look at that. Look at that.
Used to measure depth of water. So this unfathomable depth means you can't find the bottom of it. Okay. Anyway. So this symbol has been optional. So all these payments are going out, but we don't know to whom. And
well, why, Stu, why don't we know to whom?
Because up until now, that field was optional. It wasn't a requirement to fill in who we're sending this money to. You just send it. And it basically makes tracing that payment impossible. You don't know where it went. And Doge found this, pointed it out, and as of Saturday, they say right here, as of Saturday, this is now a required field, increasing insight to where money is actually going.
So it could just be a little clerical error, couldn't it? I mean, they just accidentally didn't put down we're 4.7 trillion. You know, who gives a shit what the timeline is? $4.7 trillion. Have you woken up, America, yet to understand that you've been ripped off over and over and over again, right? So this is if you're not pissed off about this, and I know everybody here on this channel is pissed off. Okay, I know that, but the general public, maybe they don't understand this. Maybe, and fair play if they don't. You shouldn't have to be, but we're being forced now to become more learned in how our government works and how they're manipulating our government in order to benefit themselves and those that are very closely connected. So, America's eyes are being opened slowly, and we need to keep our foot on the gas here. We've only been in for a month, okay? And we need to keep our foot on the gas to get to the bottom of this, because boy, oh boy, the fat in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is 99% fat, period. It needs to be trimmed. So,
well, we've always known.
Okay, sorry, Steve.
No, we've always known that there was in any operation that gargantuan, there's going to be loss. There's going to there, but to find out that there, like you said, just the number 4.7 trillion that we can't trace because nobody bothered. Who's the inspector general over there? Who's the one that is supposed to be, keeping up with this? Hey, are you guys doing everything the way you should? Let me check this. Let me check that. Oh, there's no payee on 4.7 trillion. Is that something we should do? No, that's optional. Oh, okay, cool. No problem. Next. And
I mean, everybody knows where that money most likely went. Everybody knows. Yeah, you become a member of Congress or the Senate and make roughly 175 grand a year, and you walk out years later, multi. Did I put enough multis in there? Millionaire.
Maybe one
right?
more.
Yeah, multi. Just for good measure. Hey, I didn't get a multi out of that guy.
Yeah. Freedom made a point, and he said, reminds me of when Rumsfeld said the Pentagon couldn't account for $2.3 trillion.
Oops.
And then 9/11 happened the next day.
Exactly. 9/11 happens the next day.
And I understand, especially with the Pentagon, you're going to have some funds that are off books, or they're for, classified operations, and it can't necessarily be like, oh, this was the money for the operation that did XYZ. I get that, but you need to at least have a line item, classified operation, this amount of money. You've got to be able to account for it. You can't just throw it in a fucking hole and be like, don't know where it went. I mean, there has to be some sort of accountability for it. It's just, there has to.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because I can guarantee you, my wife would not be happy if she's like, "Hey, where did $15,000 go to?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just stuff things.
Did she know about that Barrett purchase you just made?
Shh. No.
Oh, okay.
She does now. Thanks.
And the optic system. I think we discovered where that 15 grand went. Okay.
My wife, every time Matt and I will be talking when I'm driving somewhere and he's on the Bluetooth and we'll start talking guns, and she's like, "You guys can't be friends anymore. It's too expensive." But this just the Doge and the everything, it just rolls right over into another, $50 billion in fraud at the Treasury. And this is after a judge from the judiciary branch is coming in and saying the executive branch cannot audit itself without my permission.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just
now. I think today that was overturned by another judge, but I'm not 100%
here's
sure.
What I want to ask you, Matt, because you remember back when the last election, when Biden was installed in office, mm-hmm. and all of these states were suing and these people were suing and all that, everything was tossed out. Oh, you don't have standing. You don't have standing.
26 states didn't have standing.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, who is filing these suits or filing these motions? What standing do they have to prevent the executive branch from auditing they're
the executive branch, parts of the executive. Yeah.
What standing do they have to say we can't be audited?
We've got a real problem with these judges, and here's why I'm always telling people, look, you cannot rest on your laurels because Trump was elected, right? And do not assume, and I know you guys don't, but there are people out there who do, that the Republicans are the good guys, because there are a handful of Republicans that are the good guys. The rest of them are frickin' rhinos. And these damn rhinos are waiting for the opportunity to go after Trump. They don't want USAID being torn down. They don't want all this fraud being uncovered. They don't want to start pulling the string to find out where that $4.7 trillion went. They don't want that, right? Allegedly, right? Because
we've got the Ides of March coming up, so Trump better better have his back to a corner.
Yeah, we've got to support Trump now more than ever, because believe me, they're going at him with everything they have, because he is dismantling the whole freaking thing. You even look at our food. We've seen how the food pyramid was completely destroyed by the industry giants. Basically, they co-opted the government, who's supposed to be looking out for us, right? and funded all of this bullshit where they make a fake food pyramid that has nothing to do with being healthy or anything else. They allow these same food giants to start adding additives that we know are poisons. Seed oils are poisons. Sugars are poisons. Artificial colors, dyes, all of that shit is fucking poison. And it has caught us all up. We've all eaten it. We've all taken it, but it's been allowed to be introduced into our food because the whole system is freaking corrupt. And if you just expand that out to each step, this is why they were fighting against RFK Jr., right? Expand it out. There we go again. Look, yeah, 100%.
We brought this up on a show earlier, and that's one of the things that RFK was bringing up. You look at the U.S. version of ketchup, tomato concentrate, distilled vinegar, high fructose corn syrup, poison, salt, spice, onion powder. Look at the U.K. Tomatoes, spirit, sugar, salt, spice, and herbs.
Yeah. No high fructose corn syrup.
The thing that amazed me was Mountain Dew, because that's just like straight liquid garbage. You look at all the crap in there again: high fructose corn syrup, concentrated orange juice, citric acid, sodium something, caffeine, sodium citrate, eorbic acid, and more things that I can't pronounce. UK, carbonated water, sugar, citric acid, absorbic acid, caffeine, flavorings, potassium, gum arabic, and color.
Yeah.
Why? Why can we not have the same things? Why do we need 2 pages of ingredients when 1 page will obviously suffice? And, that's not everything. There was one of the others I found here, or maybe I didn't.
Look at McDonald's French fries.
Let's see. What does that one say? Here we go. Potatoes, vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil, hydrogenated soybean oil, natural beef flavor, dextrose, sodium. I don't care. Shut up. All this. And the other, potatoes, vegetable oil, dextrose, fried and non-hydrogenated vegetable oil. It's like, why? Unless there's subsidies, unless there's, it blows me away. And whenever I was younger, going through high school, I worked in a fast food place, and I tell this to my wife every time we go through a damn drive-through. The kids' meal cups now were smalls whenever I worked there. And what is now a medium was the large. Everything's just increased in volume. Fries, everything's just bigger. And you look at some of these restaurants, and I look at some of the food, and it just doesn't even look appetizing. It's like, I want to eat my burger. I don't want to wear it. I don't want to have a freaking towel or a wet wipe when I get done eating a hamburger because I have shit dripping off of my elbows. But it just, that's where things have gone. And you look at some of the restaurants now that are putting their calorie counters on the menus. There's some, you go somewhere for a dinner and it's 1,500 calories. Like,
more
damn near. Yeah. I'm being generous. I mean, I've seen 1,500 to 2,000 calories for a dinner, and it's like, holy crap.
It's so funny the way you look at food now. I can tell you, because I was thinking, you eat a salad. Well, make a salad taste good. You put the chicken on it, you put all the spices and stuff you want in there, you put cheese in there, and then you slather that dressing all over, and you think it's healthy. That fucking dressing is made with seed oils, and seed oils are they're inflammatories. They're basically straight up freaking poison. There's a few oils that your body needs that aren't seed oils, like olive oil, like avocado oil, like coconut oil. But beyond that, there aren't too many oils that are good for you. Because if you talk about like canola oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, vegetable oil, all of that bullshit are seed oils. And it is absolute freaking garbage. You have to try to avoid it. And if you don't have to go all, keto and all of this bullshit, but if you limit the bullshit that you're eating as far as, the seed oils and the sugars, right? You're going to be so much better off. So much better off. If you can just get the sugars out and the seed oils out as much as you possibly can, you're going to be so much better off. And I can't eat whatever I want anymore. I used to be able to eat whatever I wanted, and I just worked it off, right? I can't do that anymore. So my diet's changed. I personally eat 2 meals a day, breakfast and dinner, although it'd probably be better to do it with lunch and dinner, right? But I have to eat breakfast. But if I don't watch what I'm eating, I tell you, I learned something. Remember we used to go to the track and we used to make those quesadillas?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dude, what I do almost every morning is I use a quesadilla maker. They're like $25 on Amazon, right? I take a quesadilla and I get those Mission Carb Balance, which tastes just like pitas, regular pitas.
Oh, they're great. That's what I have in the pantry right now.
Yeah, the carbs in them are fiber, right? So I take one of those, I'll put chicken on there, I'll put some salsa on there, I'll put some cheese on there, and then I'll put another one of those pitas. That thing is freaking delicious. And the amount of net carbs that you get out of that is like 8. You know what I mean? So you can still enjoy food. I'll do burgers on those too. Burgers on those things are phenomenal. So
that was what we did for dinner last night. We had some chicken marinated in fajita, like a fajita marinade, cooked it on the grill, made wraps with fajita chicken, lettuce, like you said, lettuce, cheese, some of the what they call little shoestring carrots, tossed on there, and that was what we had for dinner.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I mean, you can make pizzas on those. You can make pizzas on it. I do it all the time. Put the 350 degrees, put some sauce down on it, then your meats, your cheese, put it in a cast iron pan in the oven.
But I will tell everybody and I don't do a whole bunch of advertising for things, but there's an app called MyFitnessPal, and you can track your meals. Like as you eat, you can, they have a thing and you can, sign up, you pay a couple of bucks or they have a free version, but the one that you pay a couple of bucks for, you can actually scan the barcodes on things and it'll pop it up and pull in the nutritional value on it. So if you're looking at a box of mac and cheese, boom, it'll pull up the nutritional value. Or you got a bag of frozen vegetables, nutrition, it'll pull up, bird's eye, frozen peas or whatever. Here's the nutritional value for it. But, that was when my wife and I were doing some stuff. We were wanting to, all right, let's see what we're doing. And it's amazing when you start looking and you have to be diligent with it. You have to track when you eat whatever, but it'll really open your eyes as to, how many sodas did I have today? How many bags of chips? How much just random empty calorie stuff did I eat?
Well, try to avoid the chips and stuff. That's almost impossible if they're sitting around now. But there's just a million things that you can do. I like salads, so I still make the salad, although I use Italian dressing now that I make myself with olive oil. So olive oil and garlic. And what I will do, I really like croutons. I don't avoid the croutons. I get good ones. I get the Texas toast, that cheese and garlic ones. And I put those on that. So I put my meat, cheese, and all of that stuff in there. And I like salads, but you got to use the right oils. I can see we've got some comments.
Yeah, I think we're making Hurricane hungry. He's like, need to reel this shit in. It's not a cooking show.
Yeah,
he's got
this
a point.
Wasn't even planned. I don't know how we even got on.
while we've got the break here in the conversation, we'll go ahead and move off of YouTube over to Rumble. And if you're picking this up later on YouTube, the link is below. We'll carry the show on over at Rumble. We'll dig in a few more things, and we'll see you guys over there.
All right.
Let me get up here.
YouTube sucks, by the way. YouTube sucks.